Morning, boys and girls. Today with our occupations, we're going to meet Robert. And Robert is a board game designer and also player and collector. When I was wee, we used to love just playing outside all the time, and we loved in the winter or a wet day playing board games like drafts and Ludo and Snakes and Ladders. But things have advanced so much different now, and some of these games are very, very interesting and also sophisticated, but yet simple for some people as well. Before that, we're going to learn the word stop, but let me tell you. Here we go. Stop, and let me tell you what the Lord has done for me. Stop, and let me tell you of the Christ of Calvary. He forgave my sin and He saved my soul. He cleansed my heart and He made me whole. So stop, and let me tell you what the Lord has done for me. Stop, and let me tell you what the Lord has done for me. Stop, and let me tell you of the Christ of Calvary. He forgave my sin and He saved my soul. He cleansed my heart and He made me whole. So stop, and let me tell you what the Lord has done for me. Brilliant song. Okay, Robert, tell us all about your boardroom collection and something more about a board gamer designer.
Come in.
Oh, hi, Robert.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Robert, I hear you're really into board games.
A wee bit, yes.
Well, this is my board game of Snakes and Ladders. Have you ever played Snakes and Ladders?
Yes, really good.
And some other ones like Connect 4 and Farm Rescue. Boys and girls, I don't know if you like board games, but they're brilliant pastime. But this is Robert. And Robert, not only does he... Do you want to see... Robert, tell us something about some of the board games you have.
Some of them? Well, is there any ones you like the look of?
Boys and girls, Robert's really into board games. Not only does he collect them, I think he's got over 100 of them, but he actually designs and creates board games. So, for example, whoa, what's happened there? And you're a Christian, Robert, aren't you?
I am a Christian, yes.
What would you say about that there?
Someone's called Weird Things Humans Search For, so it's just one where you're trying to get, so you're trying to guess what people would search for things on Google for. But this one kind of makes me think a wee bit about what we really should be searching for, and that really should be Jesus.
Some of these are so foreign to me. There's one there, Wisdom of Solomon. Is that a Bible book?
Yeah, it's about King Solomon, and King Solomon, as you know, was one of the wisest men in the Bible, and he was a really, really good king. And in this game here, you're one of Solomon's helpers, and you're trying to build up the land and build up the temple, and you're all working together to try and help each other. So it's a good Christian game, and you look in the game and there's lots of Bible verses in it, and there's lots of things to learn about Jesus and God in it.
That's brilliant. There's a wee, what's that? Is that a good board game? That's very small.
That's a wee card game, so it's called Saboteur. And this is one where people are trying to make their wee dwarves, and they're trying to make a path towards the gold. But some dwarves are good and some dwarves are bad, so they be the saboteurs. And that kind of reminds me a bit of the devil, because everyone's trying to lay good plans and do the Lord's work, and then the devil's in and he's breaking paths, and he's blocking up, and he's blocking people and stuff. So it kind of makes me think that that's how the devil works in our everyday life and tries to stop us. But you can overcome him, and you can get to the end and do good work for the Lord.
That's the wee verse I like. Greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. Very good. How many do you have, Robert?
My wife says too many.
That's a lot. But you also create the
yes,
Robert, board games. So, Robert, just explain to the children basically what it means to create a board game.
Yeah, well, it's just it takes a lot of work, and a lot of it's a lot of work, and you're just trying to make all of it bits and pieces and put them all together and make sure it all works together and design it all and make a rule book for it and make sure it's fun. And yeah, so it's a lot of work that goes into it. Then you have to test it to make sure it's good. You're trying to cut out the bad parts of the game that aren't fun, that are just kind of useless. So it's like cutting bits and pieces out. So it's, again, for me, it kind of relates to me with God, just to cutting out the bad things in your life, and just focusing on the core part and doing as much as you can for the Lord. And but yeah, this is I've been working on this one for a few years now. So, and
years?
Yeah, I've been working for a few years.
So your relationship with God, is that whenever you do something wrong, is that a work in progress?
Yeah, it is, and it's just like sometimes I'd be struggling with this here, or really problem trying to work out what's going on, and then I'd pray for God for advice and say, how will I fix this problem?
So even in life, something like this, God can help you with that, Robert?
Yes, and absolutely everything. And games are really good too, because it teaches you patience and how to work with others, and how to follow the rules, and yeah, all those kind of things are good.
Is there some more games, Robert, that are not good for children to watch?
Yeah, there would be a few ones, but usually on a game they'll tell you the age for them.
Yeah.
You know, so for the ones like Cluedo and stuff are really good for like 4+, but then there's other ones that are maybe not as good. So it's always a case you need to ask your mommy and daddy whether it's a good one to play or not.
And is it a program you need to make a board game?
Yeah, well, this one is called Tabletop Simulator, so you can just make it, and this is where I test this online with people all over the world. And you can mess about, and you can flip things over and move things around, and play all the bits and pieces on your game. You know, so it's.
And is your wife as interested in board games as you are, Robert?
Nearly as much. Yeah.
That's a lovely thing to have in common.
Yeah, my wife does like board games. Yeah, so we do play whenever we get time.
And you have 3 children, Robert?
3 children, yeah.
And they're quite young. Do they have a...
Yeah, one of my children really loves board games, so she quite often beats me in the ones we play. You know, so, and it's a really good way of teaching her how to learn to be a gracious winner and a gracious loser, you know, and
a good loser, yeah.
Yeah.
And Robert, is a good way for families to spend together.
Yeah, it's a great way to spend time, because board games are for everyone, and you're socialising, and everyone's going round, and you're playing the game, and you're all sometimes like some games where you're all working together and you're trying to beat the game, and sometimes you're playing against each other and you're learning and having fun, and sometimes and it's a healthy way too to tease each other and things like that and have fun. Yeah. But as I say, like we prefer playing board games, because if you're watching TV or you're just playing on the computer by yourself, you know, you're not interacting with your family or things like that. So we really like the interactions with people, and it's a good way to meet new people. And there's lots of clubs about that you can play games, and
there's board.
Yeah, there's board game clubs. Yeah, especially for older kids too. Whenever there's a lot of pressure to go out and drink and you know, be out doing bad stuff as well, it's a good way to have a lot of fun and play a lot of games. So come on, we'll have a go look at the ones I'm playing at the moment.
Oh, very good. Okay. This is Robert with his wife Adele. And Robert, what's this game called? On Mars?
On Mars, yes.
But it's got a rule book. The rules all they help you to play?
Yeah, you absolutely need. This is a really, really complicated game. So it's for older people, but it's something that would take... you really need a rule book. You can see there's lots of rules of how to play, but it kind of reminds me of the Bible, which are the rules of how you should live your life in accordance with God's law, and that's how God spoke to us. And with sometimes in the rule books you'll find there's mistakes, but the Bible's perfect, and it's just God's perfect word for us.
Very good. But also, whenever this needs a designer or creator.
Yeah. So and this is a very small thing, and it takes so much work to make this here, and it just makes me think of how much skill and effort God had done to make all of the universe that He's created. And this is just Mars, and think of all the stars and all the planets and the sun and the moon and all of that. It's just amazing what He's made.
Yeah. So even in a board game, we can think about how God's our creator, our designer. And Robert was saying he's working on just one game for over 2 years. In 6 days, God created the world literally in just 6 days. So that's why we sing our God is a great big God, because He is. So does your wife normally beat you at these games, Robert? Or if you let her win?
She always wins. She always wins.
Okay, Robert, I've really enjoyed these board games, just learning how they work, and so many of them, and it's a good way for families to spend together. So family time's an important time. And so the challenge today, Robert, lots of kids are on their phones, computers. How is it ideal for them to play a board game rather than a screen game?
Oh, that's so easy. Some of them are really easy to set up, and it's just... it's just, you can play it and then have fun and just play again and just have lots of fun with your family and remember. And like, we'll always remember the times that you beat me, and and we'll laugh about it. But like, if I'm playing a game on my phone, you don't remember it. It's just, you just play it and then you just put your phone away.
Is this good for developing your brain?
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of things to think about and planning and all that kind of stuff. So it's all really good. We really enjoy it.
Thank you. Say bye to the boys and girls.
Bye now.
Robert, thank you so much for teaching us about your board games, designing them, creating them, and how they're so good for children to learn, to think, and it also is good to get them away from screens, etc., to be able to have social skills. Very, very important as well. So many wonderful lessons to learn. If I were a butterfly. Spot on the animals. Here we go. If I were a butterfly,
I thank you, Lord, for giving me wings.
if I were
A robin in a tree, I thank you, Lord, that I could sing.
if I were
A fish in the sea, I wiggle my tail and I giggle with glee. But I just thank you, Father, for making me me.
here we go.
Oh, you gave me a heart and you gave me a smile. You gave me Jesus and you made me your child. And I just thank you, Father, for making me me.
Swimming like a duck. Swings. If I were
An elephant, I thank you, Lord, by raising my trunk.
if I were
A kangaroo, you know I'd hop right up to you.
if I were
An octopus, I thank you, Lord, for my fine looks. But I just thank you, Father, for making me me.
here we go, everybody. Sing
Oh,
along.
you gave me a heart and you gave me a smile. You gave me Jesus and you made me your child. And I just thank you, Father, for making me me.
Whoa! Go French. Stein. Twins.
If I were a wiggly worm, I thank you, Lord, that I could squirm.
If I were
A fuzzy wuzzy bear, I thank you, Lord, for my fuzzy wuzzy hair.
if I
A crocodile, I thank you, Lord, for my big smile. But I just thank you, Father, for making me me.
here we go. Sing along.
Oh, you gave me a heart and you gave me a smile. You gave me Jesus and you made me your child. And I just thank you, Father, for making me me. Oh, you gave me a heart and you gave me a smile. You gave me Jesus and you made me your child. And I just thank you, Father, for making me me. I just thank you, Father, for making me me.
That's all for today. Thank you, Robert, so much for your inspiration and your ideas. Boys and girls, thank you so much for watching. Have a really good day. Bye.